All right. Well, we're a little glitchy, but it is the Rudy G. Funk Show, and we are making our announcement for Saturday evening with this bad boy here. Bill's Smitten Dry Hop Pale Ale we're going to do Saturday night. And I don't know, I guess I can read it. I'll read it now. How's that? With wonderfully citrus notes, resinous hop aromas, and earthly overtones, this dry hopped pale ale doesn't leave a lot of room for you to wonder if you'll love it. Cool. So, yeah, we're going to try ourselves a new beer. We are still in the Bell's family from Comstock, Michigan. And yeah, we're doing a pale ale, a dry hopped pale ale. And it says Bell's Brewery is 100% family owned and independent. So that's kind of cool. At the time I'm drinking a Killian's, I'm just kind of having a beer tonight because I'm on vacation. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? What's up with you, man? How you doing? How's your dad doing? Doing well? It's funny because it says "What's you, Rudy?" I know you mean "What's up," but it's just funny. It's the little things, that make life great. Oh, well, I'm okay. My dad's okay. He's streaming with Bardot. Oh, man. You type a little faster. It's those you young guys with your text fingers. Oh, I thought I heard that. Bad Dog had what was it? He had a video about something that the Bake Man said. I don't do Twitter or InstaFace or any of that stuff. So, what did if you know anything, Chris? What did he say about was it Giants fans or something like that? I don't know. Did you hear anything? The silence is deafening. Oh, they didn't. That's what he. Those were. That was it a tweet or something he sent, or that's pretty much what he said. Giants fans didn't treat OBJ good. Hmm. Interesting. I don't really know what to say about that, to be honest with you. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe this weekend we'll probably talk about how. Oh, he just said it like in some sort of interview or something like that. I don't know. Maybe this weekend we'll talk about a lot of this hype that's going on with the Browns and what this means for us. And we'll talk about that, what he said also, because I don't know. Me and a good friend of mine at work, as a Browns fan, if you're not a Browns fan, you talk to any Browns fan if you ask them about how the refs treat us, and you'll probably get an earload. Oh, you like the Steelers? I understand why a lot of people like the Steelers. I got shit fucking popping up here. Um, yeah, I certainly haven't given up on the Steelers. Even as a Browns fan, I don't buy all the stuff that they're kind of going down now. It's just their office is just too good, and they draft well. Yeah, yeah. Pardon me, but uh, my buddy thinks that this is only going to get worse. The whole calls thing with the Browns, that was always a huge thing with us. The last 20 years, because we've been so terrible. Um, we've needed calls, and what I think is really going to be interesting this year is if we have some games decided on good calls. We might have some kind of backlash with the Browns being helped to be a good team this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure. I don't know that, but I just kind of feel that, especially with the. What my first thought on that was the Super Bowl commercial with all the quarterbacks and they're playing football in that like dining room, uh, kind of like a ballroom or whatever. And when they show Tom Brady, drop his all his rings to Baker Mayfield as he's sitting there, um, it almost seemed like the tide was kind of tipping that there was a little recognition for the Browns that they are on the up. I mean, the NFL. So if we start getting calls this year, man, the hate train is going to be back in the Browns like you wouldn't believe. It's going to be so quick. And that's one thing I kind of wanted to talk about this weekend was something about that. And just Bad Dog's video, because Bad Dog's a huge Baker Mayfield fan. I've heard on several of his videos how uh, not only did he want him as a quarterback, but he still likes him despite him being on the Browns and is going to root for him and all that stuff. And then uh, just watching his video this evening, I thought he's kind of telling him to shut the fuck up, which was um, a little interesting. I mean, I don't think Bad Dog should ever back down, even if it's his favorite guy or one of his favorite guys. But um, all this little stuff that's going on that really doesn't mean anything ultimately, like what he might have put a shade on Giants fans. This stuff builds up eventually, it's that whole the politics of football. It helps him create that kind of bad guy um, attitude with everybody, and it won't be long before, especially in where a lot of the fans are going to hate us. And I don't mean Cleveland Browns fans, obviously, but um, I mean the whole nation. We start winning, and especially if we start getting some calls that might help us. Plus all the big man stuff that's on the OBJ now that we have him. Um, it's slowly, Kareem Hunt. There's people that just politically they just don't. Scott Silla, how are you, brother? Politically just don't like the dude because he's a woman beater or something. So um, some of the people or some of the guys we've accumulated have a little bit of baggage, and that just kind of helps feed the fire a little bit. Um, and that's going to be really interesting, especially as football starts. Hell, we'll probably get some of this stuff just in preseason. I wouldn't. And Bad Dog said something that I said a while ago, which is I can't wait for fucking preseason football, man. It's not nothing against baseball or basketball or anything like that, but us football fans, man, we're starving here. We can't wait for training camp. Was it like a week or something like that? Less than a week? Oh, it's killing us. I'm over here drinking beer and playing guitar. Trying to fill in and just kind of keep the little community going. But yeah, I can't wait, and this is going to be interesting. I really do want to talk about that this weekend, especially because a lot of you guys aren't Browns. I don't want to say you're not Browns fans, but you're not. The Browns aren't your team, and that's one thing great about doing this is you really get to talk to people around the U.S. and stuff like that have different teams, but and hold this loyalty to their teams, which is really cool. And you get to get a little attitude from them and see how what's going on in their vicinity is really cool. How you doing, Scott? You hanging out there, buddy? Where's eight and anybody Mosh? Anybody coming on tonight and doing anything live or? Wow. Wisdom teeth? How you doing, Steele? What's going on, buddy? How you been? Everybody's well, I hope. Here's to the wellness of all our us and our family members. Oh, really? You mean like this stuff, like right here, that in between molars and that are carnivore shit there? Oh, so you got some anesthetics or something, didn't you? And you're not allowed to have a beer with them or something? I'm just kidding. Oh, Vicodin. Vicodin. So how you doing, Steele? How you feeling about the Steelers this year? You got any input? Uh, any predictions? Anything you like or don't like that's going on there? Were you will you get rid of Bell and Brown guy, or will you keep them guy, or yeah, be safe, Scott. We love you too, brother. You be safe and yeah, stop that bleeding, buddy. Gotta stop that bleeding. I wonder if anybody's ever bled out um, by getting teeth pulled. Wouldn't that be fucking weird? That'd be terrible. Terrible. I'm telling you. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Because I really do think I think we're going to lose one to the Steelers this year. I mean, I'm guessing Heinz Field, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't buy like everybody else, kind of in the nation's kind of going down on the Steelers this year, like they're going to be garbage or something. And I think everybody's kind of coming to their senses, though. I don't hear too much of that anymore, which is kind of cool. I think I think it's good that us as Browns fans and the Browns feel that Steelers are a serious threat. I think that's important. Oh. Poppy, how you doing there, buddy? Prediction for my Giants from me? Well, you know what? Let me get another beer. Give me 10 seconds. I'll try and think about that as I'm grabbing a brewski here. Wow, for the Giants. That's an excellent question, I think. I think a lot of that matters. What they do with Eli and Jones this year, because I find that whole thing fascinating, honestly, especially as a Browns fan, when a lot of fans feel that, oh, that they've kind of been an idol the last couple of years. You got Saquon, one of the best running backs to come out and into college, for God's sakes. I mean, he was blowing everybody away in college. Um, but you got Eli, who's everybody kind of calls him a dead horse, and I get that. To even watch him in preseason, I could see how lackadaisical he seemed. Um, but I'd like to see him start Jones this year, and I'm not just trying to be a dick because I'm not an anti-Eli guy or anything. He's a Patriot killer, and I got to respect that. That he was able to do what he did um, when it meant the most, when it meant everything, you know. So sorry, I get these pop-ups and shit. It pisses me off. Um, what to do with Daniel Jones? I don't like the whole sit him thing. Um, now, like if you talk about Pat Mahomes, I don't necessarily know whether that was a good thing or not that Smith played and Pat Mahomes didn't. You know, Pat Mahomes looks about as comfortable as any quarterback I have ever seen in the pocket. You know, look at Deshaun Watson. He's another one he's so comfortable in the pocket. Um, Starting big time just doesn't bother these guys. Some of these guys. Um, it's possible that Daniel Jones is one of those guys, despite him having bad numbers and having, you know, and I talked about in a video about his numbers and not necessarily that they're skewed, but there were so many drop passes, and I explained that a lot more fully in last weekend when I opened up with that, and I flapped my big ass lips for a long time about that because by the time I was watching all of his verses and then heard some fundamental guys, I was really confused um, about him, where they picked him, how good he really was, how good he could really be. And, you know, just watching him in the pocket, he really did remind me of Peyton Manning. So, um, is he Peyton Manning? You know, I don't know. Probably not. I would like to think that at least statistically speaking, analytically speaking, there's probably only one Peyton Manning, but he seems to have the head for it. Um, he was never when he had all these drop passes. It never bothered him. Um, he seems to be a decent manager of the game. I think just ball placement. I mean, if I was to be a PFF guy, I bet his ball placement is probably not that great. But he showed a lot, like a lot of the fundamentals and a lot of the hitching up into the pocket that Peyton Manning did when he came out. So I don't think we should. I don't think they should wait on this kid. I think they should start him. And I mean, hand Eli a clipboard, and you know, like I said in my last video, you know, hey, I love you, brother. You know, you're good. You had your run. We need to get this organization going the direction that we want to go, and let Eli sit back and help this kid and get behind the kid and start this kid, and don't waste a rep on not having him out there, because I think he needs that um, precision. But I think he needs it live. I think he needs it with the big boys, you know, to get the speed of the game and that whole thing. If they were to do something like that, it's going to be a really rough year, and it's going to take a lot of patience from Giants fans, I think. Because I think if they start Eli, they're going to become really impatient. And this is something that the Browns, if you're a Browns fan, we know this impatience. There was probably several guys that should have started that didn't, and they tried to be wise with who they started and who they didn't, and Browns fans became really quickly lost their patience very quick, and you wind up throwing in a guy that probably shouldn't be there yet. You know, it was like 180 degrees. Um, and I would rather see Daniel Jones develop, which could mean a crap year for you. So I don't necessarily know what else to say, you know, besides I think that's how it should be done. But who wants to sit through a year like that? And I understand that, why you would want that, you know. But you know, patience and letting this kid, stick his feet in the ground and make some fundamental throws, and that's what I would do. I would dink and dunk. and when they stuff the box, the kid's got a good arm. Um, I don't know if I necessarily agree with Bad Dog on how accurate he is downfield, because, like I said, if you watch Matt Waldman's fundamental breakdown of him, um, he didn't necessarily articulate this, but he had that kind of receiver decision sometimes when he was going downtown, when he was going vertical, where he would just put the ball in a really weird place, which is why I don't call it inaccuracy. I thought it was more inconsistency. Um, so it's not like the kid couldn't put the ball where he wanted. I think as he was seeing the offender and the defender going downfield, there was like a last minute decision he made to throw the ball, and I think it might have been a little wrong. And I don't know how else to actually say it other than that. And he needs to get better at that. And I don't think sitting him gets him better at that. I think playing him gets him better at that because his fundamentals are so good. I would do a trust me year with him. So I don't know. That's yeah, and you know, certainly as Browns fans, we certainly appreciate that. And I think that's probably true. Uh, and it's not necessarily that OBJ is a beast. That we have other weapons, I think, is going to open a lot of stuff up for a lot of, especially for Baker. I mean, he's got, I don't know, like a bull in a china shop. He can wreck the place because there's just so much talent on the offense right now, and not just the receivers and the running backs. You know, our line is probably going to solidify a little bit more this year, despite the Austin Corbett move in there. I think they really trust that guy that he's going to be something decent on our line. So yeah, the Browns. I've almost exhausted myself talking about how talented they are on offense and how Baker should really have a really good year, and our running back should have a really good year this year. I don't know. Maybe we'll touch on Duke Johnson a little bit too, because you know he's changing agents and doing all this stuff, and I don't really know exactly. I haven't gotten down to the bottom of. Yeah. See, that was my prediction too. Was 12-4, and I don't see why that isn't a possibility. I mean, seriously, we make as Browns fans, we make all kinds of weird predictions every year, but we haven't been firing on all pistons like this year. I mean, Scottzilla brought you. How does Scottzilla bring everybody here? What the hell's going on here? Not that certainly you guys are welcome. Yeah, I just don't know if they should, Poppy. I just don't know if they should. And it's not. I don't want to be a dick to Duke Johnson. I think a lot of the back a couple of episodes of the show, the media really hyped that up, and I don't like. How do I say this? When the media kind of comes out with these like marching orders, and Michael D, how are you, brother? It is good to see you. And I think Duke bought a lot of this media hype about him being traded, that it had to happen. And I just I don't buy into it having to happen unless Duke keeps pushing it, you know. Um, I understand the whole value of the running back. I think I saw a Voch Lombardi was doing a segment this evening. I didn't join in and see what he was talking about. But I did see his headline. He was talking about the values of running backs and all that stuff. And what have we been hearing the whole time is how Duke wants to get paid and all that stuff. Well, he kind of got paid. We wanted to trade him. You may or might not know this. Back when Sashi and Budapest were kind of running the roost there before Dorsey got here. And Hugh kind of saved his job. He kind of stood with him and wanted him here. And in my opinion, that was the peak of Duke Johnson's marketability. Yeah, I like Vach, man. He's pretty cool. He's the only slant I have on him is he hates analytics, and it says it in his topic tonight, and it's not the first time I heard him say that, because he was when Pro Football Focus comes out with something, he was pretty anti Pro Football Focus, and I understand it. That's why I like to watch Vach and what was it? God damn it, I forgot the damn name. But I like to watch the fundamental guys because they pick out guys too, man. They pick out beasts. And Matt, what the hell is his name? I'll pull it right now so I don't, because I don't know. I guess as an old man, you just kind of start forgetting shit. But I know he's got another fundamental. He does the. Where is that? Give me 1 second, and I will have his name. Because I always recommend this dude because he's got really great fundamental breakdowns of college guys coming in. 1 second. Come on, really? Can't be that far down. Maybe he is. God damn it. I'm sorry. I hate idle time. It sucks. It's like the radio. You don't want to stop talking about what the hell you're talking about. But I got to find this dude's name because I just said it before and I totally forgot it. If I find some football stuff, and give me just a Steel 58's guys. Talking about A-Bomb being fat. That picture, the slate just cracks me up. I thought I had it. I don't. 1 more second, guys, and I'll quit flipping because I'm getting sick of it too. Two more seconds. Wow, it's totally like disappeared. I thought I was just about to watch one. Nope. God damn it. Kind of like Vach Lombardi, because Vach does both. He does the NFL and college, but this guy kind of focuses on college guys coming in and gives his opinion whether they're going to be, all pro, Pro Bowl, that whole thing. Wow, I missed it. I couldn't find it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I like Vach too, man. He is a good watch. But we're all individuals, and we agree on some stuff. If you don't roll that way, kind of, I think it kind of sucks. You can't totally just agree with everything, especially when it comes to football. Like what Dorsey did with the Browns. I wanted Saquon Barkley as our first pick, and I got it. It's all on video. I said everything the guys that I wanted. Which is hilarious because I wanted Saquon Barkley at 1, and I wanted Jesus Christ, I forgot his name too. I need another drink. From Oklahoma. It wasn't Baker Mayfield. It was from Oklahoma State. Is the guy that I wanted, and the Steelers got him, which I thought was very interesting. And they got him late at like 72 or something like that. I felt like a retard that I didn't do my fundamental um, studies very good. What the hell is it? How do I forget his name? Jesus Christ, he was my favorite quarterback in the draft. I don't know. I'll try to remember it. Anyway, him and the Bake Man played each other, and that was the Ohio State, or I'm sorry, Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. Did I say Ohio? I guess I probably did. Sorry about that. But anyway, I thought he was kind of like the next Ben coming into the league. I really liked a lot of the stuff he did, a lot of stuff he did, a lot of the decisions they would make, and that's who I wanted it for because I thought the Steelers were going to come up and get him. Here they waited. Nobody took this dude. They got him at I think it was 72 or something like that, and I was just like, wow, the Steelers are fucking patient. You know, they waited for this kid, and I thought he was going to be in the top 10 or something like that. So, but I'm certainly glad that we got the Bake Man. I mean, Dorsey was right to grab him. But one of the reasons I liked Baker. He was an analytics dream. Yeah, Mason Rudolph. Thanks, Pat. Um, one of the reasons is because the little quarterback thing was I didn't want to go through it again. I liked Baker Mayfield. I told a lot of the guys, just in my circle, my football circle, like at work and stuff like that, that the dude's really good, and I could see they couldn't get past the 6'1" quarterback. They just can't get past that because there's so many. We had nobody like Cody Kessler, nobody liked what's his name from the Redskins that still plays to this day. He was also 6'1". Jesus, I just cannot think this evening. I'm losing my brain. It's gone. Brian, he was with the Johnny Manziel thing. Johnny Manziel, there was another one. I mean, how many? Yeah, I think Sam Darnold was overhyped too. Believe it or not, at least analytically, he didn't play any better than Cody Kessler at USC, and I wasn't too hyped about Sam Darnold as everybody else was. But I wouldn't have been upset though either if because the Cleveland was really hyping him as this is the guy we're going to get. This is the guy we're going to get at number one. There was a huge push for him right before the draft, or not necessarily right before the draft, but building up to the draft. So everybody was kind of, when we took Baker, everybody was kind of like, oh, well, they took Baker Mayfield, and they weren't too terribly upset, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know if Sam Darnold doesn't really seem to have the confidence that Baker does, Yeah, Ohio State when he started getting roughed up in that Ohio State game, and he was doing a lot of scrambling and all that stuff. And he's not a huge scrambler. And I certainly don't want to talk that dude down because I think he's going to be good. But there's no doubt that I think Dorsey got it right where and I think Mason Rudolph has this attitude too. in a certain sense. We needed somebody. The one thing with like Cody Kessler, he was kind of a yes man in a certain sense. He was never going to talk down the organization. He wouldn't do what Baker did with Hugh after he was fired. He wouldn't have done that. He would have stuck with. He was a great coach. I learned a lot of stuff from him. He would have stuck with that. He would have done what Baker had done, and Cleveland kind of needed that. I think to have a dude with attitude, a dude that just kind of walks in and like, look out, man, here I come. And Cody Kessler was not that guy. And I'm a huge Cody Kessler fan, to be honest with you. And I'll say that in probably every one of my videos for the rest of my life, I guess. But because he was really great in college, he was a very yeah, I do like that too. So that was the reason um, I kind of swiped Baker and went for Mason because I thought they were very similar in a certain sense with attitude. Um, Now Mason Rudolph isn't saying a bunch of dumb shit behind Ben because he's smarter than that. He's but I think they both have the same confidence. Um, and I don't think they're going to miss too much of a beat when Ben goes, in my opinion. And I've said that on a lot of my casts also. That year, there was a lot of good quarterbacks that came out. Everybody from who was it? That was a year before. This like 3-year block with Cody, Dak, Carson Wentz, jerk off. Who else came out in the jerk off year? I can't remember. Who else am I forgetting? Anyway, the year after that, you had, I don't know, there was like 6 QBs that came out. Baker, Mason Rudolph, Jackson came out. Who else was there? Sam Darnold. A lot of these guys had pretty good numbers. They had really, really good analytics where they'd done a lot of stuff right. And I usually kind of start with analytics when it comes to like self-scouting anybody to try to form an opinion whether you think they're going to be good or not. Because in my opinion, you want your quarterback doing a lot of right things. You want them doing a lot of right stuff. You want them to do a lot of right stuff in college, and often that passes off into NFL stuff, being a decent quarterback or anything for that matter. It's not too often. That's why analytics guys call them anomalies, where you don't have good numbers and you wind up doing well in the NFL. It's rare. And that's what analytics are, is a likelihood for success. So that's why I really buy analytics. Well, we got a twofer. So how you doing, Poppy? You having a good night, buddy? I kept my Googles on, which is weird. Normally I take my Googles off because I'm farsighted. So like from 1 to 2 feet, I'm doing good, buddy. But I see well far, which is I don't know if any of you guys like that, where you can't see close. It's weird. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's funny, very passionate. I mean, I don't know him, but I've seen his stuff. He comes up and he makes all those videos, man. I saw his. I was just watching a couple of weeks ago when Baker, after he scored that touchdown, we're playing Hugh and Baker's running backwards. and staring at Hugh. His video is like hilarious. The shit he says about that, you know. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. I was laughing the whole time. I was thinking about every time I think about that. Whoa! Steele says A bomb. It's on Friday night. He just made like a video of that. Um, I always thought to have. Do you watch any of the like a boss videos or the best Q videos where they just got all the snippets from Twitter, Facebook, and everything, and people put music to them and scores to them, and they're just hilarious usually. Some of them are just cool with dudes skiing and shit, and they do all kinds of cool shit, and they got a cool score to it. I don't know, maybe you know what I'm talking about, but there's a there's a soundbite of this black dude laughing. I think it was a Browns video. Somebody put it to. But anyway, these best cube or these like a boss videos use this dude's. He's laughing. He goes, "Oh no 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 no!" And he starts laughing this really hearty, healthy laugh. And I thought that would have been perfect for the Baker Mayfield backup stare at Hugh Jackson when we were playing the Bengals and we were like totally whooping their ass, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted to make my announcement. I was going a lot longer than I wanted to, but hey, God bless you guys. I'll see you guys Saturday night. We'll talk some more football, and I can't wait. We're gonna try a new beer, and we'll probably fiddle a little bit. You know, we like fiddling, so. Poppy, be safe, man. I appreciate you chiming in. It was a nice conversation, man. So, peace out. Rudy G Funk out, man. Have a good one. All right.